Hey guys, so welcome to the first video of my channel. My channel, like you can tell from YouTube's description, it's going to be focused on typology. So it will be talking about MBTI, sometimes also segueing into socionics, and also like anagram and related fields. And I'm also going to be doing social and political commentary, so you can look out for that. And I hope that you can excuse my messy background. I'm still working on it. So the topic of the video is why hip hop music can relate to or appeal to INFJs slash INTJs. So obviously I'm not suggesting that appeals to every single INFJ. I'm an INFJ and it really appeals to me, and I also know several of my friends who are INFJs, and it also really appeals to them. So if you are an INFJ or INTJ who does not enjoy hip hop, like that's fine, okay? So this is kind of to explain myself as well, because a lot of people, if they don't really know me very well, they are very surprised to find out that I enjoy that genre of music. Even though, to be honest, I enjoy all kinds of music. Like I listen to a very broad like variety. I think that every music has its own value to offer. But why hip hop music in particular? I think that it has a special relevance to the INFJ or INTJ personality, mainly because hip hop music really taps into our inferior function called extroverted sensing. And extroverted sensing is about taking in the surroundings as they are and being steeped in the moment of things. Extroverted sensing is also a pretty aggressive function, like it's very self-preserving, and it's also a function that is very survivalist. I will kind of go into detail later on in the video. So here are the top 3 reasons why hip hop music can appeal to INFJs or INTJs. The first reason is that hip hop music is very unsugar-coated in its approach to suffering and kind of the unfairness that life brings. But instead of, going off the emotional end, it's really encourages you to fight back. And that's kind of where, the extroverted sensing function comes in, because when you talk about extroverted sensing, it's not being passive, you actually do something about it. It's about action. So introverted intuition is, it's not very active. It's just sitting there, daydreaming. You are in your own imagination, which is also great, but extroverted sensing is the opposite of that, where you take action and you do things in life that would bring you to where you want to be. So in hip hop songs, you see a lot of this, topics on oppression and suffering. Beyond that, there's also a lot of like commonality with people's experiences of, being misunderstood in the world and having haters and, having people who don't believe in you, and just having this whole challenges that you have to really fight back. Because if you don't do that, if you just let whatever happens to you, nothing is going to change. So that is what hip hop music does, is that it often does not sugarcoat reality. It brings the darkness out in the open. If you listen to Eminem or Lil Wayne, you would know like their collab song "Drop the World" is really about how challenging the world is and how they have to deal with a lot of difficulties in their life. And it can be subjective things like from their childhood or just in their journey. But I think that there are universal aspects of it that especially INFJs and INTJs can relate to, because these are two very easily misunderstood personalities, and we really encounter a lot of setbacks, especially when we are younger, because a lot of people don't really know who we are. They don't understand what we are coming from. And so hip hop music really can appeal to that side of us, and the side that we want to stand up for ourselves. We want to make use of what we have to make our lives better. And it's not like encouraging us to suffer endlessly. It's also encouraging us to, do something for ourselves and to really rely on our own strength, because we know that, nobody can save us. We have to really do something for ourselves. And basically, that kind of message, I think it's something that really appeals to INFJs, because when we are younger, we often identify as some kind of victim. And I think that when we get older, we want to snap out of that mindset, because it's not really doing anything good for us or anyone for that matter. So the second thing that really that hip hop music can really relate to us is it's is about living in the moment. And that's something that both INFJs and INTJs sometimes have a problem with. As we all know, like, introverted intuition is a very future oriented function, and so it's really about balancing out the need for, planning for the future, and also the need to enjoy the moment, which is what hip hop music is about. Like, if you look at the lyrics of a lot of hip hop music, it tends to be very hedonistic, which obviously, like, not very similar to the INFJ lifestyle, but it is like the extreme other end that can sometimes fascinate the INFJs, because we tend to calculate, like, oh, we cannot do this because then it may lead to this consequence. But hip hop music is about letting go. It's kind of like Fight Club, when Tyler Durden asked the protagonist to let go and to really embrace change. And so hip hop music is kind of like that extreme force, that where people really just immerse themselves in the present. They talk about, just enjoying life as it is, like dancing, like, having a lot of um, sexual encounters, which I don't think I know of a lot of INFJs who live a hedonistic lifestyle, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, but again, it's the extreme end of enjoyment that is offering INFJs like this look into what our alternative life can be like, or kind of making us think about our own choices. Like, are we really being too restrictive on ourselves when it comes to enjoying the moment? Obviously, it doesn't have to be doing drugs or, having orgies, but it's more like we have to find our own way to enjoy our own life and to snap out of our mind, because a lot of hip hop music is really graphic, and it's also really based on the physical reality. So, if you see someone who's really attractive, like, the lyrics are going to talk about that. Maybe, like, there's a lot of, like, material things that can be enjoyed, like, the lyrics are going to talk about that. So it's really about being present. And that's something that INFJs have a problem with, because we sometimes just neglect what is going on around us. And having that music, it really brings us to this realization that we need to enjoy our lives more, in terms of, not always living in our own heads and taking a look around us. And the third reason is maybe surprise some people who have like not a very like informed view, or not very familiar with a lot of hip hop music. It's that hip hop music is actually not shallow. Like, there's a lot of meaningful lyrics out there. I would say arguably it's with the older hip hop artists that you see more meaningful lyrics. Like, unfortunately, a lot of the younger artists are not very, I don't know why, but they're not very good at writing meaningful lyrics. Like they're really good at being catchy, but in terms of lyrics, it's not much out there. Like maybe you can suggest a new rapper that is really good with lyrics. But from what I see, a lot of the really young ones are not that good. So for me, I think that currently the ones that I listen to, a lot of them have very meaningful songs. And as you know, like both INFJs and INTJs are intuitives, and they enjoy having like abstract stuff beyond like normal day routine. Um, so songs that talk about things that are beyond like sensing realities are also very attractive. So for example, if you listen to a lot of like Kendrick Lamar songs, like he does go into deeper topics. Like he doesn't just talk about um, parties and fun. Like that's one part of hip hop, but it's also like the introspective part of it where people think about, reflect on their lives, like reflect on the mistakes they make, and kind of think about whether they could have made better choices. And sometimes it gets into like more complex feelings. So one example of that that I can think of right now is this song by Kendrick Lamar. It's called Pride. Like if you listen to it, it's really poetic. Like it appeals to like the meaning giving side of INFJs. And other songs are, for example, Crazy by Lil Wayne. It explores him being seen as insane by everyone else around him because he is saying things that they may not understand, that they may not be able to see it themselves, and so they have this kind of judgment against him. And it really appeals to the introverted intuition part of both INFJs and INTJs. All in all, I have covered most of the bases, like on why hip hop music can appeal to INTJs and INFJs. And the reason why I wanted to make a video, especially on this topic, is because I think that people have a very limited view of INFJs, especially INFJs, and we have like a saint-like reputation, and so hip hop music doesn't seem to match up with that expectation of us, which is why a lot of people are very surprised when they see me enjoying this kind of music, because they are like, aren't you supposed to be like this really innocent person who only cares about helping people. And to that, I think that I don't really like the whole martyr complex of INFJs. I don't like the reputation of you have to be this type of person who is completely kind, because I think that everyone has different sides to them, and I don't see myself as purely nice or kind or purely bad. I think I'm just human like the rest of you, and that's what INFJs should be seen as, which is human and not, typecasted as a flawless unicorn. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed the video, and there will be 2 videos every week. So let me know in the comments. Sorry. Let me know in the comments what kind of videos you would want me to do more of, and just let me know of anything that you have to say about it. Bye.